Hello and welcome to episode 100 of Uncommon Games Showcase. It's been a long time coming, but I'm finally at 100 episodes of this series. So I want to thank for everyone who's watched, commented, favorite, subscribed, liked, all that stuff. This is a great milestone for me. If you've missed any of the past episodes of this series, you can check the playlist down below. We'll have a list of all episodes in this series so far. Now, I don't plan on doing the series quite as often as I've been doing it now, as I want to move on to other topics and other things to talk about. So anyway, in this installment, this is one of my favorite games of all time. This game was released in 2009 by a company called Spellbound, and it was released exclusively in Germany and Australia. In 2011, it was very quietly also released in the Western world by websites such as newegg.com had this game. This is Giana Sisters DS. Giana Sisters DS is an extensive remake of a 1987 Commodore 64 classic called The Great Giana Sisters, which was made by a company also in Germany called Time Warp Productions. The original Giana Sisters game was through and through a Super Mario Bros. Clone. The game was basically bringing Super Mario Bros. To the Commodore 64. It had extensively amazing music by Chris Husbach, and it was, without a doubt, one of the C64's best games ever made. Because it was so similar to Super Mario Bros., Nintendo threatened legal action against Time Warp Productions, and production of the game was actually halted, and the game never saw release outside of Europe. In North America, however, the game did become popular, even despite the efforts of Nintendo, thanks to the extensive pirate scene of the Commodore 64. As games could easily be copied onto floppy disks and just exchanged with people around the world. Now, this game, like I said, is an extensive remake of the original Giana Sisters, and it is just a fantastic classic. So if you've never seen this game before, you're in for a treat. So here we go. So much like a Super Mario Bros. Game, you can run and jump. You can also break blocks. You collect these diamonds, which act exactly like the Super Mario Bros. Coins. The punk ball turns into a punk with red hair who can then throw fireballs. You break bricks with your head. These guys totally don't look like Goombas. You also have a map on the lower screen. In a way, it's very strange that this game is only on a Nintendo platform. Like, it's such a strange mix of history that would even happen. Since the success of the DS version of this game, it was also ported to smartphones. It's on Android and I believe on iOS as well. But the smartphone versions aren't nearly as good as this DS version, and that's mainly because the controls suck. But what do you expect when you put a game like this on a cell phone? Whoops, I missed it. The stages start out extremely easy as the game eases you into the game, but there's more than 80 levels, so expect a Super Mario World sized game in this little cartridge. Even though the game is rare, because it was recently released, like I said, on those websites like Newegg and eBay and so on, you can typically find a copy for about 20 bucks, which was the original asking price. Prices haven't yet soared for this game, but I suspect that if there is a demand for this game over time, the prices will increase. Now, I'm not going to bother to collect all the red diamonds. I just want to show you guys some more stages of this game. Now, what's amazing about this game is the controls. The controls are so damn good. And that's a far cry from the original Giana Sisters, which had, fairly terrible controls, considering all you had was, an Atari-type joystick. In the original game, you had to jump by pressing up, because the button, the only button on the controller, was reserved for firing. Whoops, I pressed the wrong button. But here, of course, you can actually have fire and jump, and the D-pad. The D-pad also controls the camera. And not to mention, this game is absolutely beautiful. This is one of the best looking DS games I can think of. The soundtrack is pretty awesome to boot, too. As it goes on, I just want to finish the first world here. Like Super Mario Brothers, you'll eventually have castle stages. And fight, yes, you guessed it, a reoccurring dragon boss. The soundtrack here is an extensive remix of the original Commodore 64 arrangements. Alright, I think I've reached the castle. Alright, let's see if we can do one more stage. 1-9. Whoops. That's not how you do it. Alright, so there you go guys, Giana Sisters DS. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.